Hey everyone, it's Saturday now. I've got the measuring wheel in the back I showed you last night. I didn't rush in this morning, so I'll put that on, then I'll show you. Also, when I was getting that, Wes said that actually a salesman came out from Anderson, I guess. I don't think, just to come out and introduce himself, whatever. He must be a new guy. So he said there was a little stream of hydraulic fluid coming out from underneath the forwarder. So he had an appointment for his truck to get serviced, and I had other arrangements yesterday afternoon, so we deal with it this morning. And I'm kind of proud of Wes because his strong point is not tinkering or finding, like, you wouldn't think it'd be that complicated, but when you blow a hose that's underneath the cab and it's not up in the boom where it's obvious and everything's wet, it can be hard to find it. So that's usually something I have to do. And he called me this morning. He was already here. I got the cab up and said that he couldn't really find it. That's usually where he kind of falls off, but I said, well, I'm on my way out. He's just keep poking around, and he found it. That was a steering. Might have not been the toughest thing to find, but he still found it, which is great. That stick right there jammed up by the steering cylinder and blew a hose. So not too hard to get at. He just left to go get a new one made. He's got a buggy of hardwood pulp on here, and I'm gonna start putting that measuring wheel back on, and I'll show you that in a minute. We got Timber here, and Marley's here, his little buddy, Wes's dog, or was here. He'll be back, so that's kind of fun. Him and Marley run around, chase each other, and tug on sticks, and so he's having fun. So I'll be back. I'm just making sure I clean up some of the bolts in here, so I'm gonna put the head up, and I think it'll be easier to put that measuring wheel back in, or the arm and everything, and then I might have to lay it on its side or something. That knife's a little heavier than it looks, so make sure I pick up everything so I don't dump that on the ground. And my friggin' finger is still my ring finger. It's been going on 2 weeks now, and I still kind of swollen compared to my other hand. And I don't know if I broke it or fractured it. When we had the starting problems with the starter and batteries, I was crawling up on those tracks and slipped and jammed my finger into it. So it really is, especially it's hard to make a fist without it killing me or straighten it out. So, and anytime I work on this stuff, I don't really think about it, and then I notice it when I am driving or back running equipment. So especially when it's cold, I don't know. So I don't know if I don't know what I did, if it's fractured, or I know I didn't break it all the way, but fun. Tilted the head back up. It's gonna be easier to put the measuring wheel in. I see I set the measuring wheel on the feed wheels there. I'm gonna back my truck around so I can put the tailgate up against the feed wheel, so I can. It's a little taller than it looks. That to put the measuring wheel up in there is probably neck height, so it's kind of an awkward position. Plus, I don't know what it is, but that hands getting cold makes my finger kill. So I don't know what the frick I'm assuming maybe if I fractured it or something, or that maybe that cold makes it hurt. I don't know. Alrighty, I got my tailgate backed up. It's gonna make it a lot easier for me to stand here, and I have to flip this over and slide it up in there like that, put the pin through, and then get the wiring harness down through and stuff. So alright, well, the measuring wheel is on. I got the pin through right there, that, and I had to take this out And what this is these washers stack up in the top here, and then this spring goes like that, and the washers are kind of, it's what keeps the right tension. This that little pin right here, this spring goes down, slides down over it, and with all those washers and stuff, that's what pushes the measuring wheel out and keeps tension on it when it's riding on the piece of wood. So I had to take that out because it was getting too hard to line that up, and then the spring and washers fell out. So I'll just put the, the spring goes down over. Well, if I can, probably need two hands to do that, but that spring will slide right down over this, and just like that, and then that'll all set on top. So okay, so I'm hooking up the encoder wires. We only use 4, and there's, sorry, tilt my phone up. There's 4, and there's 2 extra ones. You can usually just, well, if you wanted to, you could leave these 2, and if one of these ever broke and you figured out which one it was, you could just switch it to one of these 2. Wouldn't matter. It would. But generally, when it doesn't work anymore, you just replace it. So they make this so it plugs into the encoder. Your encoder's right there. So let me get this in here. So it's plugged in right there, and I'll just, it needs to be tightened. Take this, and tighten that one. Helps a lot having the right little screwdrivers. Sure. Yes. Oh. Lights are. I don't know if it's good to do. Let's see if the computer's on. So all the lights are on. I think there's like a connection in here that's not working right. So I kind of figured, sometimes what happens with these, they're a little finicky. So you strip the wire, so the plastic rubber off the wire, and then they're right in here, there's a screw that loosens up and tightens it in there. Well, if you get the rubber part of the wire in where it clamps down, it won't make good contact on the bare wire, and then the measuring wheel won't work right. So I had this one pushed in a little too far. I'm going to take it back out, and I'm going to take some electrical tape and pull these extra wires and stuff back and tape it around here, so this is all kind of clean, and then make sure everything else is all right. Then I can put this cap back on. Okay, well, got it. Electric tape, it sits in there nice. All the lights are on, everything's clean. So we'll move on to the next step, which is I'm gonna pull this measuring wheel in and out to make sure that the way I have that fitting tightened, that it doesn't push on anything, which I think about where it is this fitting right now. It's easier to get it tight now, and you can kind of see where it's not hitting that cylinder. I might have to put it up a little bit, because I guess probably when you open the knives, that cylinder will come in, and you don't want that barrel hitting it. So, well, we're getting there. Got the knives back on. That's the cap I originally couldn't get off. Put some never sees on it. I gotta tighten that up a little more. I gotta tighten that up. I had to I showed you guys that's the spring and the rod that goes up through the spring that keeps tension out here on the measuring wheel. They added a little extra weld to where that hooks in, so it wasn't allowing it to come in enough, which wouldn't let the measuring wheel come out. So I took that rod out and took the torches and just shaved a little bit off the edge, and it's just right now. So we pretty much gotta tighten up a couple things. I got to hook that shock absorber thing back up. I gotta get this line kind of taken care of and put the cover and tighten the junction box back down, and then I think we're good to go. So I'll be back one more time. Well, we're almost back together. I got a little creative. I didn't have the right Allen head for that, and this chisel, the end you hit on, is the right size, so I tapped that in there. I'll have to sharpen up the edge again, which needed to anyways. Well, this is the tool that Don made me. This is what Caterpillar sent us to tighten up the cap on the measuring wheel, so works a lot better. Okay, well, we're finally finished now. I zip tied that going up through there. I'd like it not to be making this loop, but really the hose needs to be shorter. But since I was rerouting it in a different direction, I didn't want to make it too short. I kind of shoot myself in the foot, so if I were to do this again, I'd probably make it about a foot shorter so it can come straight down and in, but I've got it out of the way enough so it won't bother, and I've zip tied it up here, and it actually hooks to that right in there way better than before. It has a way less of an angle. That's the cap I was talking about. Got that tightened and everything's pretty much back together. So we are ready to rock and roll. Wes is over there greasing his machine. So his problem was all that hose is all fixed. I'll probably getting close to 1:30, 2 o'clock today. I'm not gonna walk it in and start processing, but I'll probably come tomorrow. So like, subscribe, comment. We'll catch you later.